Yeah.
Gotta.
Have we?
What's the old saying? Like, you don't get prepared, you stay prepared.
That's right. You should always have something in the back pocket just in
Yep.
case.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't think that's. I mean, I don't think we've ever happened like on the like last minute where they just don't even show. We've
No,
had
I think,
people that have emailed a little prior before and said something come up.
yeah, that's only happened like once or twice.
Yes,
So this is it. I mean, that's pretty good out of 435 episodes.
that's
To
right.
have one no show. That tells you
Absolutely.
the power and the pull of this podcast.
That's right.
I mean, people want to be on here.
They don't,
except
then
this one guy.
And I think he made up. I think he made up when I reminded him because he had RSVP'd. He had the link, and he said, "I just got the notification," which I know was not true.
Yeah.
So I think
because his PR person would have been bugging you if you hadn't.
Absolutely. I think I think the person who scheduled this sent it to him. And you know what? We're going to talk about his book. You know, I'm not even mentioning the title because he had an opportunity to showcase it on our show. We're going to talk.
You're dead to me.
Sorry, you don't do that last second. Now you email and something's come up, but hey, I just got a notification. No.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
I'm walking out the door right now. Yeah. Okay. Sure you are.
Yeah. So that makes me question. So when you do something like that, it makes me question, I don't know, your book.
Yeah. We can't let our listeners, we can't allow that kind of person into our listeners' lives.
That's right.
Just not acceptable. So
that's right. That's right.
So we're going to pull out some, some things that I just got my newsletter, my June copy of the Doberman Dan letter. So we'll talk a little bit about that. There's a little excerpt in it from Dan Kennedy. So we got like a little double Dan going on. So we'll talk about that. Dan Squared. Yeah. They should do a seminar, Dan Squared or something like that.
It's amazing that Dan almost, I thought he was practically dead like 4 years ago. And then now he's writing a book. Now he's got a book out that's coming out.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll mention the title of it and give him a little free press.
That's right.
I'll tell you where to get Doberman Dan's letter if you want it. And then we had mentioned a company a while back that you tried and then had a bad experience with. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to follow up and give a progress report because I was going to use this company.
Yeah, but they weren't ready apparently, or something. So we'll find out what happened there.
Failure to launch.
And who knows what else might come out of our mouths at any given time. So, well, without further ado, let's jump into our beverages for the day.
Good.
What do you got going on?
I got something called a Rocket Pop. I'm not real thrilled about this. I picked it up just because, it's they said it's like a pool beverage. You know, it's one of these like fruity. It's by Urban. Who is this by? Urban South Brewery, based out of Nolens. Let's see here. I like the can. I mean, I kind of like the can. It's got a little fruity look to it. But it's a fruited sour.
Oh yeah, the old Rocket Pop from the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Red, white, and
blue. We've got some of those in our freezer. Those are Rocket Pops.
Okay, so it's supposed to taste like the Rocket Pop, which I don't know if that actually has a flavor, but
well, this one's blue, raspberry, cherry, and lime come together in this Gosa. These Gosa beers, I noticed these Gosa beers are really starting to they were trending upward there for a few years. I don't drink many of them, but they're starting to get more popular. But it is a Gosa with a tart and sweet summertime treat. Only 4%. This is a pool beer. You're sipping it by the pool, Sean. You're sipping it by the pool, likely in the afternoon, and preferably colder than this one is right now because it's not very cold.
Yeah, you got to keep it cooler
Yep.
Buy if you're at the pool. So, well, look, I mean,
Right.
looks interesting. We'll see how it fares in the old ratings here in just a minute.
Yep.
I'm actually having coffee today because I did an MDMA session this week, a little therapy session. So I try not to drink any alcohol before or after that.
What would that do? What would that? I mean, if
you wouldn't do anything, it just makes the recovery harder.
Well, okay, all right.
So
you want to,
there's plenty of people
space it out.
Yeah, it's just best practice. It's like anything that's taxing your system is just going to make the experience harder on your come down and that kind of stuff. So, but it was super clean because I did my nutrition and all that stuff. So it's been good. So don't want to mess that up. But I'm having Cafe Bustelo. This is in every grocery store in America, usually on the bottom shelf. It's cheap. And it's espresso ground coffee. I put it in the mocha pot.
Finely ground.
Yes. And I put it in the mocha pot, which is the little Italian pot that percolates basically.
Yep.
Throw in a little milk, a little bit of maple syrup, and then some cappuccino protein powder. So it's a nice afternoon, warm, basically protein coffee. So
how much protein do you get off of that?
26 grams.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a full scoop of protein powder. So it's not this Starbucks 6 grams of protein in their foam stuff. It's like, what's the point?
Your protein oat, what is it? Oat milk.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Whole milk, grass-fed whole milk.
Yeah,
all that stuff. So yeah, this is my go-to in the afternoons if I want a little extra something. It's usually what I have. So
yeah,
it's good stuff. All right, well, let's cheers it up to a fly by the seat of our pants show.
Yep.
To spontaneity.
I don't even have a glass. That's how spontaneous. Oh, actually, I do. Here's my mug.
No glass allowed at the pool. No glass containers at the pool.
Yeah, but I can have a chug. Bring my chug.
So I'll go ahead and rate mine while you're pouring. I'm going to give mine a 4.5 because it's my own creation and it's really good. So I'll give it a solid 4.5. It'd be great with throw a little
That's good.
Kahlua or Bailey's in there.
Oh man,
take it to the next level.
Bailey's Irish cream. So I'm gonna go. I'm not a huge fan of this. A little sour for my taste, so I'm gonna go 3.2.
Yeah, those sours are hit or miss, mostly miss in my experience.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a couple out there that are like slushies, and man, that's just weird for a beer and stuff. But all right, well, not bad. Let's jump into the first thing. So the first thing, let's talk about the we mentioned on our last or one of our previous flights of persuasion about cold cakes and cold caking, like sending cakes as prospecting gifts. I heard about it. Cool thing. We showed the website, coldcaking.com. You went and tried to do it. And
dude, I had a list of like high level, prospects to send these out to, right?
Yeah.
But I think they have some work to do on their website. So I couldn't even sign up for an account. So I tried getting on, and I don't mean to throw them under the bus, but I tried for 2 days to create an account, and I could not even enter my email address and password and create an account to even send out a cold cake. So
that's crazy.
I'm a little worried, but maybe they'll get their glitches figured out. We'll come back to them. If so, I'll try it again, and I'll give them another review. I'll say, hey man, they worked everything out, and I sent one out and I won a $10 million deal. So all because you're okay.
Now that they've had the idea, you could probably just do a little tiny bit of legwork and figure out a baker in that area of the people you want to send it to, and just
really
pay them $50 to.
I think the thing that intrigued me was you could put logos. You know, I didn't know to what extent, because we were talking about that. You could like create logos, and put on the packages QR codes. So there was a lot of there was a lot of customization that I really liked. But you know, we'll check back with them and see. So hopefully they can get it together.
Yeah, and I just went on there and as you were talking about it before the show, and the recent order they have up as a display says it was delivered March 25th and it's June 5th. So
not a good sign.
They either went out of business already, or it was just more hassle than it was worth, or who knows what, or just their website is broken and they don't even know it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully not the last. That'd be tough, but it was like a really young kid that started it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's already on to something else. So yeah, so that's sad, right? That's sad news. So if anybody out there wants to knock off coldcaking.com, now is the time. Now is the time. We got your first customer right here.
Even as we speak, I am trying to log in or create an account, and it just says it. Yeah, it just, you can't even get past the creating an account. So
wow. Well, that's tough. I had my Amazon account hacked last week, and somebody spent $1,000 in my account.
Oh,
yeah, that was fun. Spent
some time.
So and then I got locked out of my own account afterwards.
Because crazy. You had spent so much. And then you filed a report, and then they locked it.
Yeah, then they locked it, and then the text codes wouldn't come through. The 2-factor codes, just wouldn't come through my phone.
Right.
And I called AT&T. I called. Man, it was about 6 or 8 hours over 2 or 3 days of going back and forth. It's finally resolved, but yeah, it's crazy how that stuff pans out.
Man. Mess your life up.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, they reversed the chart. I was able to cancel most of the orders because I called them quick enough, and they flagged them. Yeah, I woke up in the morning with like orders for stuff that I would never order. I was like, what? And I go in my bank account and negative charge, the debits for those.
Oh yeah. You're like,
at first I thought it was because Amazon sent me a message, and I thought it was a phishing message trying to get me to click on the link about the account being hacked.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went to my bank and saw the charges were there, and then I went and signed into Amazon. So yeah, it was a great start to the morning.
It's going around right now. I mean, I get text messages that you've got tolling fees, like that you haven't paid, and they're like, you got to pay them, or you're gonna, you're in danger of, losing your license or something like that. I mean, it's crazy right now.
Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff. Well, let's talk about Doberman Dan's letter came out this month, the June edition, and I've got it right here in my never nicotine stained fingers. And he was talking about what he calls the BAB.
The BAB.
Yeah, the big ass box.
Ah, love it.
Right. So if you're gonna, and this is right up your alley, Jonathan, because you've done this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about in a world that is inundated by emails, especially CEOs and higher level business people, they're getting 300 to 400 emails a day.
Yeah.
And just doing their best to clear those out. So email is tough with that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So you almost have to do something physical in the mail, and even more than a letter, but like a box that ends up on their desk.
Yeah.
And that's what he was talking about. And what's interesting is while he was doing this, he shared a memo or a fax from Dan Kennedy, who was basically saying the same thing, that they have a client in a very high net worth, people with money, PWM, players with money.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing this box thing, and their cost of acquisition. Now, a client is worth about $100,000 in the first year.
Yeah.
In the sector they're in. And it's cost them about $14,000 all in between mailing and advertising and sales call and, you know, all the different pieces. It's about 14,000 to land a client. That's still pretty good return on investment if you're getting $100,000 client out of that, right?
Yep.
It's not too bad. But one thing he was saying, he said one reason they're doing this is everything is offline. So we titled this "The Power of Analog Marketing" this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing he said is with AI, everything's getting ripped off so fast. If somebody sees your website and they like it, I mean, they could spin one up on Claude and, you know, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
I was watching a video where they say how fast you can do that right now with Claude. You can go to the source code. You could literally download that, feed it into Claude and say, I want you to duplicate this. And I mean, you can just rip somebody's whole sales page off right then and there.
Yeah. And then redirect, put up a few ads, redirect the traffic. You'd be borrowing their ad spend, change the domain by one letter. Most people aren't even going to know.
Yeah.
So what he said is, they're actually doing this with no website, no social media, no YouTube, no email. He says, I'll throw in a secret. We have invented completely proprietary language for everywhere he sends out these gifts. So if Google search, it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
We also have a built-in anti-AI defense that I won't disclose. So basically, even the name of their company or the name of their products or process or whatever, they make sure that it doesn't show up on AI. So they're creating a name that won't show up on AI. So if people do
totally
a Google search,
to AI.
Yeah, totally invisible to online, period, which is very interesting because I know when I was doing some sales for a client, one of the reasons that we lost about 20% of sales. You've seen those sites where if you're looking for, Randy's, profit maximizer course, there'll be somebody that has Randy's profit maximizer course scam as a website.
Yeah. Right.
And they write up these bogus articles and they just guess at kind of what the person's doing. And they look for any holes or anything they don't like, which is not hard to do, right? If you're reading a sales page, you can question anything, but they don't have any proof on it. But they'll put these sites up and then they redirect the traffic. They'll say, but if you're looking for something like this and you want something a little more, safe and trustworthy, check this out. And it's usually an affiliate link to either their own product or somebody else's.
Right.
So, that's the kind of stuff that they're trying to avoid by going invisible. You don't want one of these quote scam or review sites to pick up your traffic.
Sure.
Because they will, because people want to see that. They're like, oh, or, somebody does a sponsored ad that says, before you buy so-and-so, whatever, read this 3 things to know before you buy, X product. And those are effective. They work. I think it's a pretty lazy way to do business, but to each his own.
Right.
So yeah, he was talking about that, but then we were talking about his book. So Dan Kennedy apparently has a new book either coming out or already out. Business Owner's Emergency Survival Guide for the AI Revolution. So that should be interesting. I'm curious what Dan has to say about AI in general.
Oh, I can only imagine. It's perfect timing, though. I mean, for something like that,
Yeah. And I think there's going to be a huge analog kickback.
I do too.
I mean, we both follow Scott Shepard now. That's kind of his lane.
Yeah.
He's talking about, and he's in the digital world for marketing, but once you get in his world, it's all analog.
Yeah. He doesn't even type out his letters. He writes them by hand and then has somebody else type them. I mean, he's gone completely completely analog. The
you
most
can only
basic
buy his materials print. You can't get a digital copy of his stuff.
That's right.
So I mean, he's got courses in his members area, but his main books you can't buy. Can't buy a digital version. You can't buy an audio version because he doesn't. Because he's, he makes a good point. Like I've seen this. We had Steve Raju on Cognitive Sovereignty. 3 days after he published his book, somebody had knocked off the book with the same title. Because titles aren't copyrightable. You can't copyright a book title.
Somebody stole that title.
Somebody took the same title. They changed the subtitle a little bit, and then I'm sure with AI, wrote a book and threw it up there. I mean, it's just
wow,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's another reason to do analog marketing and so you're kind of floating under the radar and you're not, being seen by so many people. I mean, a lot of this is thanks to Russell Brunson and funnel hacking, right? I mean, he kind of created the culture of, just knock off everybody's stuff. I mean, it's been going on before that.
Sure. Right.
But he definitely made it more popular,
Well, yeah. And I think that there's some lessons to that in terms of scarcity. Like if you're on Amazon, if you can't get your book on Amazon, then people have to go through your means,
right.
you're the gatekeeper on where they get access to your information.
And then
get access to your stuff. So,
and then you have their address. And if you're doing print, you've got their physical address too.
Yeah.
Which means you can continue to communicate through direct mail with them.
Right.
Which is way more valuable than an email these days, I think.
So what type of big box does he go into detail on what they're sending?
Yeah, so Doberman Dan talks about well, first of all, he gave like 6 reasons that you want to use BAB. We've already talked about some of them. And he said one I liked, I think my favorite, is that it signals seriousness in a world of cheap talk.
Yeah.
The cost of producing a website, content, an email has gone down to basically zero.
Yeah.
Even 2 years ago, it still took a little effort to put up a website. Not true anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So there's just no barrier to entry for people to just be spamming you, to fire up an email, all that stuff. So when you send a physical package that has a physical letter and maybe a physical brochure and maybe it's a sample of something or whatever, that shows effort. And especially when you're going after people that are higher net worth or, have worked hard to get where they are, they appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
That they know what it took to sit down, put together a box, find the address, do a little research on the company, because obviously your letter needs to have some stuff in it. And all that, they get to do it. So the components that Dan talks about, Doberman Dan, and by the way, if you want to get on his newsletter, it's dobermandan.com. So make sure you go check that out.
He's been on our podcast, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah. I have to have him back on soon.
Yeah.
So the cover letter, this is the engine, the emotional core, the beating heart of your BAB. Everything else in the box is supporting cast. The letter is the star. Your cover letter needs to accomplish 5 things, and it needs to do all 5 in the first 3 paragraphs. Establish that you know exactly who this person is and why you specifically chose them. Number 2, demonstrate that you deeply understand their biggest pain, frustration, or desire. 3, make a bold, specific, credibility-building claim about your expertise or results. 4, explain the contents of the box and why each piece was specifically chosen for them. And 5, issue a clear, low-friction call to action. Something like, just text me the word yes at this number, and I'll personally call you within 24 hours. Component number 2 is a newsletter, if you have it.
Repeat that last part again one more time, because that's important.
Yeah, so the 5th thing that should be covered in the first 3 paragraphs of the cover letter is you want to issue a clear, low-friction call to action. And he gave an example.
Yeah.
So he gave an example. Just text me the word yes at this number, and I'll personally call you.
I love that. All right,
yeah. So
freaking genius, man.
Yeah.
Just text me yes at this number.
Yeah, and I'll give you a call. And I'm sure the letter would be a little bit more clear about what you're saying yes to. An appointment, or would it be okay if I call you? Remember in second grade, Jonathan, when you used to pass notes and it was like check one, yes or no?
Yeah.
That's a low friction call to action.
Do you like me? Check yes.
Yeah. That's a low friction call to action, right? You just check yes or no. So that's what we're looking for. That'd actually be fun to actually put a postcard that's like in kid handwriting.
Yeah.
Will you have an appointment with me? Check one, yes, no. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
I mean, you have to have the right prospect.
But then they got to check it and send it back, whether you text one or you text two. You can give them options. You don't just have to say yes, but you can text one for this, text two for.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Text two to get lost.
Yeah. If they're at an office, they could just hand it to their assistant, say, put this in the mail. It'd be pre-addressed, pre-stamped.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Of course, that's
now you're talking lag. Really old school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're talking
it's a little bit of lag that way too.
Yeah.
But still, it's unique and it's different, and it adds a little mystery. So maybe. So component number 2 that Dan talks about is your newsletter. Mm-hmm. If you have one, and I think everybody should have a newsletter, you could put in, you've got your journal that you combine, that you create. You got, some other things that you could definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
Component number 3 is a book. If you have a book, include a copy of the book, a real physical book. And then number 4, the unexpected delight. This is what he calls the secret weapon. It goes from that was impressive to I need to call this person right away. So you want to include something unexpected, something that has absolutely nothing to do with making a sale, but has everything to do with making a human connection. I remember a story you told on this show about somebody who liked baseball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Tell that story.
So, this was years ago. I had a meeting with a very large manufacturer, it's a family-owned business, and I finally got in to see the president of the company. We had a brief meeting in his office, and I noticed that out front when you walk into the company, they have like their designated parking areas. So this is where the president of the company parks. He's got his own designated parking area, and I saw that he had a Braves. He was a Braves fan. He had a Braves sticker or something on his car. So immediately that caught my attention. So when I walked in, I knew that he followed the Braves. And then when I went into his office, when we met, obviously it was pretty just looking at some of the background behind his desk. He followed baseball. And so, so we got to talking. We spent most of the time talking baseball and very little about business, which is a lesson in and of itself. Like,
exactly.
Don't be so eager to go in and talk business right away. Develop a relationship, develop rapport, talking about their interest, what they like, spend as much time on that. So doing that, he really opened up. But we got to talking about, somehow the conversation drifted to some of the old announcers or some of the current announcers in baseball, and how so many of the legends are either passing away or retiring. And so I was telling him, I'm like, I discovered a place not long ago where you could find like clips of like old 1940s, 50s, 60s, all the way back. You can find like all of these old announcers, like from like these old baseball games, like really cool. And so, so he was like, really, so I actually followed up on that. Long story short, I went and, sent him basically links. Cause I was hoping to download these and send him like some physical, like, audio CDs or whatever, but you couldn't do that. But, But I did send him a whole bunch, like a link to a website that had all of these, a whole collection. So it was like a huge resource collection of like free downloads that you could listen to those. And he was thrilled by that.
Yeah.
Just that little thing like that was amazing for him.
Well,
Oh, and by the way, I actually won that business too, by the way. So it didn't.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I won that. So that was a pretty cool story.
So here's what Dan suggested. He's like, so you could do a handwritten note or note card. I'm going to pull up something here that he didn't recommend, but I found just a little while ago. So a handwritten note or note card, a relevant book they thought the prospect would enjoy. So, not one of your own, but a separate one. A funny, relevant prop that ties into the letter's theme. A small, unexpected gift that connects to something specific about the prospect. Research, like you could probably find out about that guy through LinkedIn or somebody,
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways to research to find out what people like. A physical checklist or tool printed on high quality card stock that the prospect can actually use immediately, something like that. So right before we were doing the show, when I was scrambling to look for something to talk about, I just Googled like creative, direct mail. And I found this place called Red Paper Plane. And it looks like they have pop-up cards that can sit on people's desks. Like here's one that's like a doghouse. It's a UGA doghouse, by the way. Little pop-up mascot, little pop-up pen holder or something.
Red Paper Plane.
Yeah, and then there's like video brochures. So, there's little things like this that are just a little bit, they might stick around an extra week. Yeah. And that was another thing Dan was mentioning. He's like, an email is deleted instantly and then gone forever, right?
Yeah.
If you send something in a box, it kind of lingers and hangs around the office for a little bit. And if there's something cool inside, even if it's a little cheesy, like it's going to stick around a little while. People will put it on their bookshelf. People leave it on the corner of their desk and, think about it. And every time they look at it, your name comes up, right?
Yep.
So it's much stickier from that standpoint.
Absolutely. It reminds me another quick story is I won business with a manufacturer years ago where they were a houseboat manufacturer. And so they were featured in one of the issues. They're really proud of this in Houseboat Magazine. And so I took a screenshot of that particular issue, put it on a send out card. And I've used that service for years. They've actually changed. They're no longer called send out cards anymore. They've been either bought out. I think they were bought out by some other company, but I still use the service because it's still pretty much the same concept as you can, send out a custom greeting card and really make it, design it however you want it and send it, directly from the website. So basically I took a screenshot of this issue of Houseboat Magazine, and it was talking about them. They were on the front cover. Never happened before. They were super proud of that. I took a screenshot, put it on the card, send it to them, just a real simple note of congratulations. And I went in for a meeting. This was like probably a month later after I'd sent that card out. And when I go in to meet with the president of the company, he's got that. I still remember he had that greeting card like sitting upright. It wasn't even laying down. It was sitting upright on his desk. So either he propped it up just because I was coming, I don't know, or he was really proud of it. But, it's something that was customized to them. They were very proud of that. They had never been on the cover. And so I took advantage of that,
Yeah, that's smart. And it just lets people know that you care. And even if let's say you did the exact same thing in an email.
Yeah.
They may really appreciate it. They may like it. You did a custom little picture and you sent it in the email and you attach it to the email, but it's going to sit in their email folder. They're never going to see it again.
I'll never see it. Yeah.
Unless they happen to think about it and be like, oh yeah, that card, I wonder where. It's probably not going to happen though, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, it's sitting up in his office on the bookshelf, and
Yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah. He had it. I mean, he was proud of that. I mean, it cost me all of $2 to send that card out,
Yeah.
$2.50 or something like that. And that was it. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing fancy, not a big box, but something very unique to them. Like,
Yep.
Highly
personalized.
That's the important. It's got to be personalized, and it's got to stroke their ego to a sense.
Yeah,
to some degree.
And Dan talked about that in the issue. You got to do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be personalized. You can't make 20 boxes exactly the same and send them out and expect the same kind of result.
Right.
I mean, you could do it's better than probably sending, email or things like that.
Yeah.
But the personalization is what will put it over the top and get you the call, or when you follow up and say, "Hey, did you get my package?" They're going to be like, "Oh yeah, thank you, got it. That was great." That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like if you do a follow up after an email, it's like, "Hey, did you get my email?" They're like, "No, yeah, yours and 3,000 others."
Yeah. Well, yeah. Most of the time, it's like, I think I remember.
Yeah.
But no. It's either I think I remember or no, I don't, which doesn't mean they didn't see it. It just means they clicked on it, looked at it, and then turned away from it and went on to something else, So they don't remember it, even though they might have clicked on it.
Yeah, but they remember the box you sent or the card or the gift.
Emails. Email sucks.
Yeah.
I do less and less email these days. I prefer to text. I'll shoot people a text.
Oh, really?
Which I get a bigger response from text.
And how do you get the text numbers? Or these existing clients?
Typically I use if I don't know the prospect, if I've never talked to them or found this information out, there's ways to I use an AI software called Seamless. I think I've mentioned this before, but Seamless will go into your account, and it's kind of crazy. It not only will pull your business email, but it'll get someone's personal email. I mean, I get Yahoo and like their Gmail accounts that they probably aren't expecting to get an email from, but I wouldn't send them an email there. But I also get their phone number, and in a lot of those cases, I get their cell number. So, and typically I'll try to approach them first, but with a phone call before I shoot a text. And maybe an email, just so I can say, even though I know they haven't seen it, I can say in the text, "Hey, I sent you an email," just following up on that, And so Seamless is it's a great tool. In fact, I have it on my computer here. What's cool is they have a plugin, Google Chrome plugin, so I can go to any website, any customer website, or any prospect website, and it's got the little plugin, little toolbar that I just click on, and it'll instantly pull down a complete directory of everybody that works at that company and their all of their information. So
that is crazy.
It is.
Wow. Does it pull like addresses too, like physical addresses?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yep. Everything.
Well, that fits in nicely, doesn't it?
And then it pulls, their all of their socials. If they're on LinkedIn, if they're on Facebook, I mean everything. It's crazy. And I don't tell them that I use this to get it, but it goes pretty deep. And most of the stuff that it pulls is probably like 97% accurate in most cases.
Wow.
Every now and then I'll get one email that's probably, it's not accurate. But I'm more interested in the phone numbers and how to connect to them by phone or the address.
Yeah, I'm looking at the things it pulls here: email addresses, cell phones, enterprise security and compliance. Which I guess need to know that.
Yeah.
Pitch intelligence, whatever that is. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's I've used it for 2 years now. It's fairly expensive, but for what I do, it's a few $100s a month. But for me, if I land a client off of that, then
Yeah.
It's
They have a free
worth it.
version. You only get
Yeah.
50
Yeah.
50 credits, one full contact per credit. So
Yep. Yep.
you know, if you're somebody like me who's a freelancer, you don't need, you know, a ton of clients. I mean, it's not a bad
Right.
not a bad way to go.
No. No, it's a great tool. I fully endorse it. And you know, I've been, like I said, I've been using it for like over 2 years now, almost 3 years probably. So
there you go. Make your research easier.
It does. It makes it his AI has really, and this uses a lot of obviously it's using AI in the background, but
Yeah.
you know, I wonder how much that I could just use Claude now instead of
I'll tell you what, speaking of that, I went through a little boot camp somebody put on, and one of the prompts they gave as part of the boot camp was a prospecting prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And man, the stuff it pulled up, I was impressed. Yeah. Like it was like, you know, I gave like a basic idea and company size and things and basic niche, and man, it pulled up 4 or 5 like just, you know, perfect prospects to go after.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, I think this company's in trouble, honestly. I probably won't, you know, won't need to use them because I can just use a you know, a Claude, what it costs me compared to what I pay for this.
Yeah, you can even upgrade to, you know, Claude Max if you had to still save money, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'll share that prompt with you if I remember this week.
Yeah, please do, because
you can tweak it.
Yeah, if I could, if I can use that, tweak the prompt and use that for a whole lot less than what I'm using Seamless, then I'll switch.
Yeah, or drop to the free plan and let Claude do the, you know, initial work, and then then go to their website or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah,
use the free stuff. But cool. Well, I think that's all I had, man. Was you know, keep the postman in business.
Yeah, exactly. I love the personalized approach too. That's the key, is just sending them something. And like you said, you can with AI too, you can go to you know, go to their LinkedIn page. You can find out what their interests are. And that's the other thing I like about Seamless is I can get like you know, it gives me, for every contact that it pulls down when I click on their website, it'll have all of their social icons. And I click on each one of those, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever they're on. And you can kind of get a little bit of background just from getting on their LinkedIn page, what their interests are. And that's a good start. So,
and a lot of times these days, you know, people's about pages, or if there's like a team section, a lot of companies now, they put like at least one like personal thing in that little write-up about the person to make it sound more human and more, you know, it used to be it was all business, but now everybody puts in like and we like to, you know, love to go camping on the weekends with, you know, whatever. So that's another good place to look, especially with businesses, to look on the team page and then click on the pictures to see the little drop downs that have, you know, something about each person.
Yeah.
That's some good hidden. It's kind of hidden away, but it's a good place to find little intel on people. So,
that's good. That's a good point.
All right, man. Well,
by the way, I was going to share one of the, so these are something, I think I'd shared this with you before, but I'm going to pull this up real quick before we close out. This is one of the things that I share with people. Like these are easy, gifts that I send out to people, and I'll usually include it with, it's not just by itself, but it's a good start. So if I don't get a response to, and this is typically a high level prospect that I'm going after, if I get completely ghosted, they don't respond, then what I'll do is let's see. Oh wait, that's not it. I'll send these little, I think I shared this with you. This is, this is a candle. It says, per my last email. Yeah. And it says, they smell good too, by the way. So these are great little gifts to package up with other stuff to send out. It says a unique blend of passive aggressive emails, kind regards, and professional clapbacks. I mean, can you even read?
Wow. Bold. I like it.
Here's one that says, per my last email is a strong and sassy blend of mahogany and teakwood intertwined with a hint of clean lavender, cedar wood, and rosy nuances of geranium. So light this candle and write that sassy email.
There you go.
Yeah, these are just little cool. You can pick up they have different ones like there's one like sugar cookie, I think smells like this meeting should have been an email.
Oh man. My daughter would love that one.
Berry mimosa. Yeah, they have different here's bourbon vanilla. So yeah. So anyway, those are fun to send out. But I typically will do it with something like you said, as Dan had pointed out earlier. You can send it with books or something like that. Something if you find an interest, send it with a book or something else. Don't just send it by itself.
And then what do you follow up by phone after that?
Yep. But I love the idea. I wrote this whole thing down about just text me because that's a great idea. Even I didn't think about that. Text me yes at this number, right? So
yep. And then you got permission to call them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like you remember the old direct mail days, like the interactive thing where you took this yes sticker and you stuck it on the order form before you sent it back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That interactiveness is a micro commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So to get somebody to type in your number and say yes,
right?
That's a decent, it's a micro commitment, but it's a physical in the real world.
What do they say in sales? You got to get 3 yeses before
at least.
So that's one step towards.
Yeah. And like I said, it's physical. It's not just kind of sitting at the computer or whatever.
Yes.
It's a little bit more. Yes, it's on your phone, but it just feels a little different. So, well, good stuff, man. That was good for seat of the pants.
Absolutely. I'll close out with this, and we'll talk about this I'd love to. This would be a great topic of conversation with a guest on a upcoming show. But I heard a sales trainer, like somebody who's been in the business a long time, well respected, who talked about this week. I saw a clip of him talking about if you're in sales and you want to sell experiences and not products, don't sell features and benefits, sell experiences. Especially if you're selling to if you're in B2B, that's what you should be doing. Or if you're selling to high-end clients, which you should be doing too. You want to sell to the affluent. That's the bottom line, whether it's in business or affluent people, unless your deal is selling huge volume. I prefer to sell high margin to affluent buyers.
Yeah.
And if you want to do that, you should be reading Robb Report. And this was a reminder because I used to get this magazine all the time, but I picked up a couple of copies. But if you read the articles, not just the ads in Robb Report, they're geared towards everything in there is geared towards the affluent. I don't care what you're reading, but it's on whether you're travel, whether you're playing sports. Everything is high end, and the articles are amazing in how they write, because the writing is not about the stuff. It's about the experience from the stuff that they're talking about.
Exactly.
So when you're selling to wealthy, affluent, sell the experience. Don't sell the stuff.
You're selling. Another way to say that would be you're selling the status of that experience.
Yes. Yep.
Right. I tell you who does this as a commodity type product, low cost commodity type product, who does this very well. And I've been seeing more of their commercials lately because I think they're ramping up to be a big sponsor for a lot of the 250th, celebration for America and all that stuff, this month and next month. and that's Coca-Cola.
Mm.
Coca-Cola, if you watch their commercials, it's always about the experience. It's never about the flavor
Right.
of the Coke.
No. Yeah.
Every once in a while it might be, but for the most part, it's about the experience of drinking a Coke with friends. I mean, beer commercials do this too, but Coke does a really good job of just painting this imagery of like happy, you know, enjoy
to buy the what is it? Remember that classic ad?
Yeah. And you know, it has that same feel, a little updated, but it's got that same kind of happy world kind of vibe going on. So yeah, I've noticed they're rolling out a little bit more marketing recently on that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
you know, and I know direct response people would be like, oh, but you can't track that, or it's not whatever. You can do that and then have a call to action. Yeah. Like don't throw out what we're saying, you know, just figure out how to tack a call to action onto it, or
absolutely.
You know, something else.
Yeah. Every great, and we should talk. That's why I said we should have a guest on to talk about this. Not like going back to the old Ogilvy ads and some of the great ads of the 20th century, and you know how to get back to those today in the world of AI. You know, like teaching people like you said, it's you know really focusing on the status and the experience of something, you know, and really how to get back to that. Cause you just don't see many ads like those some of the greatest, what is the book, the 20 greatest ads that shook the world, or or the greatest advertisements that shook the world. I've got that book. So I think that would be a great,
yeah, we should go through some of those. I mean, I'm actually about to do a promotion or a little email, and I've been trying to think of different angles, and I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect for the Wall Street Journal letter. Yeah. So I'm going to do a abbreviated kind of knocked off version of that for this particular email for a client.
Yeah.
Compare two people, two situations, and you know, which one do you want to be? You know, what's the difference?
I love it.
Yeah. The thing is just, I've used that several times throughout my career, and it always works.
And that ad ran for, how long? That ad ran for a long time.
It sold like, I think $2 billion worth of subscriptions to the Wall Street Journal.
Oh man,
it's pretty good. So, but yeah, it ran for probably 20 years, I think. And it's been knocked off in just about every industry you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
Successfully too. So, yeah, if you understand the psychology of why it worked, you can knock it off. So,
absolutely.
So yeah.
All right. Well, for a on the fly episode, that was, where do we go? Almost an hour. Dang.
Yes.
There we go. Episode 435. Check us out. Persuasionbythepint.com. We do have a guest, and I do expect him to show up next week, unlike our guest today. But we do have a guest joining us next week. We'll be talking about the persuasive power of documentaries, like the what do they call it? The documentary effect, and and how those work so well. You know, I was thinking about that. Documentaries do persuade, but there is this documentary effect when you watch one, you're automatically like, oh yeah, that happened. And it's like, wait a minute, I've been sucked in, you know, and they're so good about, like, they have such a persuasive power.
There's a huge assumption that a documentary is 100% true.
It's exactly. And it makes it feel like, you know, because it comes from a more of an investigative type standing. But
that'll be fun, because some of when I was working at Stansberry and just other financial publishers, some of our best promotions were always that investigative voice. When we wrote the sales letters, they were like, you couldn't tell which way we were going to go on a stock pick. You know, it was like, you know, well, there's this about it, but you know, here's some cons.
Right.
And then at the end, you're like, but we think this is worth getting. And then,
sure,
you know, here's a special report, blah, blah, blah. But it kept people guessing, like, which way you're going to go. And it felt, you know, felt investigative, you know, instead of salesy.
Yep.
So it felt like you were on. The reader felt like you were on their side, and I think that's
Oh,
how
of course. Yeah.
documentaries feel. It's like, oh, they're doing the
Always.
investigating for me. I can just sit here and watch. So
this will come on the heels of we'll be having this show next week as what is it? Disclosure Day comes out, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've got our tickets.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I won't have seen it yet because we're going the Tuesday after. So, but it will be out. So there'll be some buzz around it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll have to have. We'll have to talk about that. Maybe have a guest on related to that.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.